Well, hello everybody, welcome back. It is Jeff again coming to you with another episode of Minecraft from the Mindcrack vanilla server. And I went back home, got some supplies, and made my way back over here because there is, that was not what I wanted to do. There is a mission at hand. Now, after the last video, I had a lot of support for the waterfall with some people with some really good suggestions on what to do to make it look a little bit better, as well as a couple of really cool suggestions that I'm going to try to implement the beginnings of today to take a look at and see how it would go, as well as there seems to be, after overlaying the logo and stuff on here, there's a lot less interest in the logo being here than having a shipwreck here, and I think it's because it made it look too obtrusive, which I agree with. I agree that it actually did look extremely obtrusive, and I don't know how I could do it subtly. So if somebody has a suggestion for how to do it subtly, I would be more than happy to check that out. But right now, what I want to do is kind of check out how to make this the beginnings of my base. And by making my base, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to have, I can get the silk touch pick out of here for a minute. I'm going to try to make this so that, yeah. Oh, I missed. Oh, he died anyway. Oh. Well, that's going to suck. Was not anticipating that. I guess that's a fast travel way to the bottom of the ocean that I never had really thought of before. That you can just send an ender pearl into the ocean, and when you get to the bottom, you'll be you'll be at full breath. But I don't know how I wanted to have my base, the entrance to my base. I want it to be hidden behind this waterfall. I didn't necessarily want it to be at the bottom, but I don't know a good way of doing it without it being down here at the bottom layer, which could do a little bit of terraforming, but I think I want to kind of climb to the top of this a little bit more. Shut off the water for now, and then take a look at some... there it goes. Crap. There we go. And take a look at some ways that I could go about doing this, and we'll deal with fixing the waterfall in the relatively near future. But the suggestion was to have a piston door of some type that opens and gives me access to my base behind the waterfall, and hopefully in doing so can make like a little doorway open and stick out of the waterfall and have like the water stop and have a little walkway there that you can walk into the base with, and then when you hit the button again it like retracts and everything goes back to normal. I don't know, I'll be honest, how possible that is. I was going to play around in a creative world, but I figured, you know what, let's try it first on camera and see what happens, and then we can deal with trying to play with it in a creative world when I determine if that's something that's going to work or not. Hopefully the way that I've designed this, I can relatively easily just shut off the water and be able to make sure that's the end of it, right? Yes. And hopefully I'll be able to just easily turn it back on, but I want to be able to play and see what I need to do. Now, I think the waterfall looks really cool when it comes down to this area because it kind of comes over those rocks in such a way. I'm thinking if I do this kind of like here, hold on, let's wait for this water to go away. Did this thing like interfere with another source block somewhere higher and I can't get rid of this water? Oh wow, no, it's just taking a long time for the water to update itself until it's gone. I'm kind of shocked at how long this is taking. Hang tight, folks. Alright folks, the water's finally gone. I came down here and I added a couple pieces of sand just to give myself a platform to work off of. I'm not saying that this sand is going to stay, but I'm just trying to see what I can do down here at the bottom. What the idea of this would be is I'd somehow need to make this so that we had essentially a rim, and I'd want to come back and make this as natural looking as possible, and I don't quite know how that's going to be done is kind of where I'm going with this. But I want a rim that the waterfall will currently come over top of. But once I push it out, or in some way I need to push a block out, which makes a divot where the water can then pour into, because then it opens up the ground in the waterfall, or it stops the water from getting past this point. And I actually don't know the ultimate way to make this happen, because if I put a piston, which I got a bunch of pistons, if I put like a piston, I think it face this way, right? Sort of. Ugh. That's not exactly how I want that. Well, if I put a piston like this, like Steven say it's a sticky piston. Like, actually, I'm going to need definitely a few sticky pistons. I don't know how many. I'll just make 4 of them for now. But if I have a sticky piston here and have it so that it's, however this is going to happen when all is said and done, I'll get my stick. I'll get my, this will make my little lever. Take the piston. And I can't do it right there. So it's out now. Like, let's say this is retracted. This is out. So this whole layer would come out. Now, the thing is, the water's still going to flow over top of this, I believe, right? Oh, I forgot that it... That was weird. Do I actually have... Okay, I do. I forgot that the it gets rid of, you know, a lever. I don't know why I forgot that it gets rid of a lever. How can I put this lever on so it won't be affected by this? Let's do it underneath for now, because this is just all testing. There we go. So if I do that, I'm pretty sure that this is going to act as a full block. Forgive me on my non-understanding of piston mechanics right off the top of my head. So whereas if I put this, let me make sure I cover this and this for now. If I put the water right there, yeah, it's going to run down on this as if it were a full block. So right now it's going to come back there, whereas if I just retract this piston, it's essentially just going to come back one further. I didn't like the way that that looked at all. So that's always just going to have it connect, huh? That's just going to push it out, and then that's going to keep that layer going just like it was. So this idea is not going to work having a simple piston that pushes directly out to stop the waterfall, but I would almost need to have a piston push a block out or push a block up. It might be able to just push the block up, actually. Whereas if it was, let's see, let's take a look at this for a second. If it was like this is my test one right here. Right now it would, hold on, it would seamlessly, no, excuse me, this one. Like this one would be my test block. Right now the water will seamlessly roll on over top of it. Whereas if I made this particular block right here, had a piston underneath of it, like, excuse me, like so, and I have to get somewhere behind it where it's not going to get destroyed by water, like this. So this might be the way my entrance is going to be this tall. I can even move it up higher and make it work a little bit better. It's going to get dangerous over in this area real soon here, because right now what I could do is test by, I mean, we're going to assume it's going to be like that. I'm going to have water coming down. I'm going to have to build this layer in just such a way that water's coming down like this, and water's coming down and flowing over the front. Whereas if I put this up, all of a sudden water is still flowing over the front of this. Why is water still flowing over the front? Did I mess up the placement of this, or I did not mess up the placement of this? It's just because, so maybe this idea actually is not. Why is it doing that? Okay, right now, here we go. It's contained. Sort of. Not exactly the way I wanted it contained. No longer contained. But if I go up again, is it just gonna... Oh, no, no, that works. And it's hidden. Granted, you can see it a little bit. I could probably even push it back a little bit farther. I'm thinking if I do something like this, it's going to give it some really cool looking aesthetics. And granted, I said I've definitely, when I'm said and done, I'm going to make this thing look natural and see how it's actually going to be. So this is up right now. So let's put all these in a position where they would be considered up. So if I were to do like a line of them, like let's say 3 is all I need for my entrance. So right there, there, and there. 3 wide should be, well, let's do 4. Let's go crazy. Let's go crazy and do 4 wide. So boom, boom. And I put dirt on top of it. Or it could be sand. It could be whatever's going to actually look the best. And I'd have to clear out this part of the mountain. So the water is going to be rushing down. I'm really curious what this is going to look like now. Because this actually might be pretty perfect if now, however I were to build... Shoot. However I were to build this piece of it, which is going to involve to get a line of pistons, I would need... I'm going to need... Whoops. Crap. I need to put all those back because I didn't want to destroy that. So let's get back behind this thing. Because back here in the water, in this part itself, it's not really that big of a deal. So let's see if I... Throwing stuff all over the place. If I take my repeaters and my redstone and kind of go like this. And unfortunately, I hate having to do it like that. But, I mean, that's the way. Sometimes you have to do it. We're just for testing purposes. Make sure all those extend. All those come back down. Perfect. And it currently would need to be covered just like that. Obviously without this hole, but I still need to be able to get in there. So if I were to have, this probably wouldn't be there. So like that, it's not going to be there. If I were to, boom, just put that water down. Unfortunately, it's not running over all of it as we speak, but we can see it enough to that if it's covered. And then, ow, I ender pearl into the thing. Where did I mess up? Where did I mess up at? It's because there's not one right there. It's okay, that would just need... Alright, I guess that'll look kind of natural if I have it like that, right? Okay, let me get to the top of this thing. Let the water spread fly. Water spread fly. I don't know if that even makes any sense at all. But I'm gonna have the water start going again, and I'm curious what this just concept looks like. Because as long as it looks good and it somewhat works, I can use that knowledge to actually tweak things. Oh, that did not help at all. To tweak things and make this thing look a lot better. That worked. Unless I didn't go over the mountain. Wow! Look at that. Another question is it right here? No. Was it right here? No, I was right. It was just, I was in the wrong block. Okay, so this is my water spread. And as people suggested, I can make this thing look like when I get lower down to kind of veer it off to the side a little bit. I can put something else like that. I can even take it away. Just to give it a little out push. No, that didn't work. There we go. That forces it to go to the side a little bit. So I can do that in key places on the way down to give it some more look. But what does that do for my secret entrance, except for the fact that it didn't come to the left enough? Does my secret entrance still work? And it does not because of... Hi, zombie. Because I would have to make it look more natural, right? Over on this edge a little bit more. Over here would still need to have like a bank that would stop it from moving this direction. I could probably do that with some sand. Curious what happens if I just layer this thing with sand. Ow. Hey. The sword's really nice, except it has a significant amount of knockback on it, and that makes it a little bit hard to deal with, but it's okay. It is okay. Maybe I am not as good at this as I thought I was going to be, because unfortunately I would need this to be built up. Oh shoot, that's breaking out a stupid chest. Okay, that would work okay. Oh, except now nothing comes over this anyway. This is not going according to plan, guys. This is kind of what I would call a failure in execution. And I need to figure out what... I think what I need to do is move the entrance so it's at more of a spot that's not necessarily right at the bottom, where if it's more flat, I think I will have better opportunity for this to actually work. Because right now it's not coming over there. So let me do a little bit of work on this and see if I can join you guys in with a little bit of progress. Well, unfortunately, folks, the opposite of progress has been made. It's what I call anti-progress. I actually took all the water back down, tore out what I had, and I've got to go back to the drawing board with this. I'm going to have to spend a lot of time one day off camera trying to finagle and tweak this thing just right. I might play around in a creative world for a little while and find the best way to get pistons to extend in such a way that might be able to catch massive amounts of water, because what it might end up coming down to is making the entrance and then basing the waterfall and the flow of water around it. I'm not 100% sure on how to make the water actually get caught so that the entrance is wide open and you can actually walk to it completely dry, because it'll make it so that you could open the entrance and you could get to it. It just wouldn't necessarily be wide open and able to be gotten to super easily. I don't know. It's going to have to take a little bit of finagling on my part to get this thing to go through right, because unfortunately I went over that mountain. Yep. Unfortunately, right at this current moment, it's not a perfect stream like I want it to be, and I need to just see how the water's reacting and things like that. So it's water behaves in such a weird way that I've not experienced or experimented too much with the way that water behaves, and I just got myself lost. How? And there we go. I was gonna say, how on earth am I lost? There's Arcus. Look, it's Arcus. He was just running around up there. So I'm gonna have to come back and revisit this at a later time, but I do have an idea in mind for what I want to do. And if you guys know any good tutorial videos or anything like that on making secret like waterfall entrances, I can check those out. I'll probably do some research on them on my own as well. Unfortunately, this video has run me a lot longer than I planned on it running because I was doing a lot of experiments off camera and things like that. So, sure. So, with that being said, I'm going to have to cut this video short. Recording time was probably pretty short, so I apologize for that, everybody. But I want you guys to be able to see what I'm working on so you guys can give me some suggestions on where to go next. And anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next episode.